Gary, are you on with us?
Yeah.
Oh, there he is. Okay, you're just going to check levels.
Okay. All right. No, I'm fine.
I'm almost, but hang on, I'm just chewing.
I'm having my coffee.
Oh, shoot. Morning coffee would be great.
Not at this company. We have horrible, nasty coffee.
Oh, really?
We call it like black tar heroin. It's just it's nasty.
Oh, I got you.
It's disgusting.
All right, I think I've swallowed
Ready to
my
go?
morning breakfast here.
All right. What were you having for breakfast, by the way?
I just had a handful of mixed nuts.
Awesome. Very good. Very good. All right. Let's get to the questions. Hypersonic, July 22nd.
Correction on the title.
No. What is it now?
We're called Strays.
Strays?
Strays.
All right.
You're the first to know.
I am the first to know, and I will have that on my news report. Strays, July 22nd. As I understand, the first single is Just Because?
That's correct.
All right. Tell me what the song is about, and give me a little background on the first single, Just Because.
Dealing with people in the music industry, you run into a lot of lowlifes, and they're basically people that they're working with artists, but they they basically grab the artist's talent and their product, but they don't really know what they've got in their hands, and they just abuse it and they take advantage of them. So this song was pretty much about all these shadowy characters who are working not the love or for the art, but for basically the money, and they don't care who they run over.
In 2001, you released one of your solo albums, Song Yet to Be Sung, and over the years, as I've been reading articles, following you and seeing what you've been doing, you've been working with some electronic music and DJing and here and there. When you and your bandmates for Jane's Addiction began, the process for this album, writing, recording, did any of that electronic music try to spill over into Jane's Addiction, and did it work, or did it not work?
Yeah, at first we tried. I mean, when we got back together, I had been working a lot with electronics for probably 4 years, writing with electronics. And everybody was keen to give it a try, do the Jane's thing with the electronic thing. But honestly, when we got down to it, we didn't sound as good as just playing ourselves, you know what I mean? It seemed like the electronics just kind of inhibited things a little bit, because it's actually much quicker if you're an exceptional musician to just kind of do it again, not have to have it, the electronics do it, but you do it. And in the long run, I guess you're better off too, because you can always reproduce it in slight variation live. Whereas if you're doing it with electronics, you have to depend that this DAT player is going to be coming around with you, and it never gets to change. So we just kind of added it all up, and we have bits and pieces, what we call moments, that are, things, sonic moments that, electronics helped bring about. But for the most part, we kept it real legit.
At the end of 91, or I guess somewhere in 1991, when the Lollapalooza tour was ending, it was kind of for the moment, farewell of Jane's Addiction, because there was a lot of animosity within the band and a lot of fighting. Now that y'all have kind of come back together for the meantime, and Dave released his 2001 solo album and had to play, guitarist, he had to play vocalist on that. Did that role kind of help you all become better friends in the year 2003 and kind of subside a lot of the animosity y'all had back in the early 90s?
Yeah, well, when we first got back together, we were, obviously we were excited to get back, and curious as to what we would sound like. I want to call it kind of like riding a bicycle, you know what I mean? If you see a friend you haven't seen in a long time, you start bringing up the old stories and you can have some good laughs. Sometimes, the stories aren't so great, but I think all of us, it's like a team, you get a couple of losses and it teaches you things. When you get back onto the court, you, having had some of those losses, that gives you strength and courage and tenacity. So I think it's what has happened with us, is we've gained strength, courage, and tenacity, and we really have learned to appreciate each other, because, without having the guitar for my voice, it was just, it was just a different animal. And Dave would say the same thing, without my voice and his guitar together, we just musically had we didn't push each other. We weren't around to push each other. So now we're comfortable with it, and I think we're closer than ever.
Now, with him taking the front man's position during that solo time of his, did that help in the recording process? Is Dave have a more active vocal role in Jane's Addiction in the year 2003 than he had in the past?
No, he doesn't. I mean, he can sing. Right. But he didn't want to. He actually didn't want to sing. But on stage, though, because I have backgrounds that I laid in. Because there's a certain way I do my harmonies. I'm not even sure I could explain it to you. But other musicians come up and they always tell me that they like that I sing in fifths, which I don't know that I do it. I mean, I'm not really that educated on what I do, and you know what I mean. It's not coming from a scholastic musical point of view. It's just coming purely from feel. But it's something that it's an innate part of the sound. So Dave didn't want to disrupt it, but I wouldn't be opposed for him singing songs. It's enough to try to think of your guitar parts.
Right.
There's so much and mental brain power used to try to come up with parts in the first place, and then harmonies of those parts that he's just happy he can pull off the guitar parts as good as he does.
Lollapalooza, let's switch that focus. It's returning after a 6-year absence, according to my notes, and Jane's Addiction will return to the Lollapalooza stage after a 12-year hiatus. How good does it feel to take back what you birthed?
It feels especially great this year because we're breaking ground with festival. The idea of experiencing the festival, we're taking it to another place this year. We have the whole festival is going to be wired, and there's interactivity all over the place. Not to mention the amazing lineup that we've got this year. Audio Slave and Incubus, and I believe you guys have Queens of the Stone Age as well. Yeah. And J5 and the Donnas. Those are all the headliners, as well as obviously Jane's Addiction. But we're going into the world of interactivity for the festival experience. We're working with Xbox, and we have a tremendous gaming component, if you will, to Lollapalooza, where people are going to be playing Xbox games and moving up a tier towards a grand prize, and there's going to be a Lollapalooza play that people are invited to bring their cell phones down and join in moving up this tier towards the grand prize.
Awesome. And so is that kind of what the midway is going to be comprised of?
That's right.
Okay. I remember 1992 when I went with the Chili Peppers headlining and all that fun stuff, seeing the Jim Rose Circus Sideshow.
Oh, yeah.
Is any of that, not particularly Jim Rose or a ripoff of Jim Rose, but is the midway more comprised of what you were talking about, the cell phones and the gaming, or is there any kind of circus-like atmosphere?
Well, we absolutely put our heads together, and we decided that we were getting a little bit too smart, and we needed a little bit more to be a little more moronic. Mm-hmm. So we called up Steve-O from Jackass, and Steve-O is going to be on stage 2, entertaining the troops.
Kind of like
our version of Bob Hope,
Is he kind of like an MC, or does he just have...
No, he's going to be doing his thing.
And he's just like a set time like any other band would?
Exactly.
All right, I can understand that. One last question for you, because I know our time is running out. New bass player. How did you find him, and, basically, how'd you find him?
Well, Chris Chaney was a guy, Stephen Perkins, our drummer, had been working with in Tommy Lee's band, Methods of Mayhem. Mm-hmm. And he's worked with him. He was one of the hottest young session players in Los Angeles for the last few years. He recorded on Alanis Morissette's albums. He was her bass player for a number of years. And then he started getting fame around town from the producers and was being used by everybody. Michelle Branch, just Rob Zombie, Andrew WK. So when we were recording, obviously what we were looking for sonically from a bass player, it had to be top notch because of our sound had a very, very strong bass presence. So Chris was the first guy. I mean, everybody from my drummer to my roadies were saying, you got to get Craney to audition, and it just jived. He's a sensational player and a great, great guy as well. So it's an easy it's an easy tour for us because he's such a cool dude. But you just got to listen. He sounds to me like Entwistle.
Awesome. The new album is Strays, I can't spell this morning, Strays.
You got it.
And that will be out July 22nd.
And you're the first to know.
I am the first to know, and I greatly appreciate that. And we look forward to Lollapalooza on August 9th here in San Antonio.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you for your time this morning, and we look forward to seeing you later on this summer.
All right.
All right, have a good night.
All right, you as well.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Outside the boundaries of their phony world of kicks is the ever-present possibility of discovery. This must be avoided at all costs, for discovery brings with it the penalties of society: shame, arrest, prison. Forget it, man, and get with the countdown. Shake this square world and blast off for Kicksville.